St. Charles City tonight, leaders are moving forward with a fix for its water system before the EPA determines the cause of contamination and decides who's responsible.
Currently, 75% of the water for 70,000 city residents is coming from the city of St. Louis. The city's mayor says he is ready to sue to make the EPA take action, but the EPA tells News 4 the city is denying access to conduct that testing. David Emilati has more.
I make all my coffee with water right out of the tap.
St. Charles resident Lois Bryant won't reveal how much coffee she drinks in a day.
See? Looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Bryant says not only does her water taste great, she appreciates her local government wanting to ensure it's healthy to drink.
The gloves are coming off.
Mayor Dan Borgmeyer tells News 4 he isn't waiting for the EPA to deal with the city's contaminated well system. Borgmeyer says sites north of the city limits have been identified for a new $40 million well field. The city hired an engineering firm to do preliminary drilling.
The water is safe, but if it continues at this level, it's not about the safety of the water, it's about the expense to the taxpayers. Why should my taxpayers have to pay $40 million for a new well when they didn't contaminate their own water?
Borgmeyer and the city of St. Charles insists Ameren, Missouri is responsible for the contamination, but Ameren is interested in further EPA studies.
We know that there are other contaminants in the area from a completely separate site. And so that we want to make sure with EPA that we know the source. That way, once you know the source, you know where things are at. You know, the next steps would be remediation.
The EPA issued this statement saying the agency was prepared to mobilize its contractors to perform this work beginning Monday, December 5th, 2022. However, late on Friday afternoon, December 2nd, the city informed the EPA of additional requirements needed before the city would allow access.
Why would they select the company knowing that they didn't have the insurance that we require for access? Everybody else that goes in there has that insurance. So they're the EPA. They for sure ought to know that a company needs insurance coverage like that for access.
The mayor tells me building a new well field will take 2 years. The city will foot the bill with the rainy day fund.
At least everybody that I know in this neighborhood would rather have safe drinking water. So if it's a choice between having contaminated water or the city spending $40 million so we have safe drinking water, I still think that's worth it.
Now, the EPA says if it is granted access to test the land around well 6, one of the 5 wells currently turned off, that process will take 2 weeks. But because of the delays, the EPA says it won't be able to do that testing now until January next year. Mayor Borgmeyer says as long as crews show up with insurance, they'll be allowed on the property. In St. Charles, David Emilati, News 4.